This is KC9VKV, and good afternoon, everyone. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our QSO-VLOG network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent in audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the QSO-VLOG network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 1,800 QSO-VLOG Aircheck recordings. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy on our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of the selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for 20 over S9 communications today, that all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is an area of the band where we have many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our QSO-VLOG net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net, and now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, I've got a nice copy. It's a lot of Queen Roger Nancy static, but I'm copying fine on a sunny day at 69 degrees at present here at 3:38. I have an interesting comment from Captain Mike that I recorded yesterday on Thursday. Okay, Jim, are you getting a copy? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Rochester's doing 15 over.
Rochester's doing 15 over. Okay, this is Captain Mike, and this was yesterday. He was heading west, and he was in central Missouri, I believe it. Well, anyway, I think he was near Jefferson City heading west. But he was way south of his normal route because of the storm activity in the upper Midwest, which was incredible. But here it is. Hope.
Around 160 there, Charlie. City right now, we're just a little bit west of Jefferson City. We're up at 36,000 now. A little bit of a crosswind here, but showing about 400 knots. And distance right now from Sacramento is 1,380 miles. So smooth sailing. Now we just look out from all that weather, and looks like clear skies there for a while. But you have a good evening there. We'll be listening for you there on 40 later on, and then certainly with the Jeff at 10:25 there on 20. Have a good night there, and say hello to the guys for me. KS70 from KS4. Yeah, we're Colorado here. We're about 80 of Colorado Plains here. But a lot of static, hard copy here.
Okay, this is K1GZL. Hope he copies that, because whoops, I got to get the phone. I'll be right back, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Yes, perfect copy. Not a problem at all. It's amazing that you can copy that aircraft. Well, you know, of course, he's got the advantage of altitude. That is the thing. What is the old expression? Height makes might, and he's up there at thousands of feet in the air, so gosh, I wouldn't mind having an antenna up there myself. Well, let's see if Charlie has managed to come back to us. Charlie, is KC9VKV copy?
KC9VKV copy?
Well, I think he's probably still detained by his telephone. That happens. I take mine usually off the hook, although today I did not do that. Now that I think about it, best laid plans of mice nor men. Well, gosh, I guess we're going to move along here. Maybe Charlie can come back at a later time and join us. But in the meantime, and in between time, this net is all about recording. We are recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. 4VFW.
Station ending in W. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Whiskey for Victor Fox Whiskey. Rob in Irwin, Tennessee.
Roger, that's Robin in Tennessee.
Rob, ROB, Romeo Oscar Bravo. Yes, Tennessee.
Rob in Tennessee. Roger, Rob. I am just today going to be doing some experimentation with my vertical 10-foot magnetic loop antenna. I'm copying you on that now, and I'm going to be A-B'ing it between the 10-foot vertical magnetic loop and my normal dipole. So why don't you come back and give me about 10 seconds and tell me, or 15 seconds, and tell me about your antenna system.
Okay, well, it's brand new. I just put it up a half an hour ago. It's an inverted V for 40 meters. I have a double bazooka also, but I'm afraid the coax is on south. So I've got to replace the coax on that when I get around to it. This is an inverted V, up about 44, and my rig is another new item, Yaesu 991 Alpha. Back to you, and what's your name there?
Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. The call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And I just had a small disaster on my set, but we are recovering here. And I think my loop's working out. I had to come back to 0 degrees. The thing about a loop antenna is it's as hot off one end as it is off the other. So I was at 44 degrees, which is not, I should be, you probably are about, 180 degrees from me as a crow flies, heading-wise, and I was up around 44, so I moved to 0, which is, loop-wise, the same thing as 180. Roger, Roger?
Roger, Roger. Well, you sound good. You're running plenty over down here. We're right along the North Carolina border. Over down here. East of Nashville, which is about 400 miles from us.
What part of the state are you in, sir?
The northeast part. I'm 40 miles south of Bristol.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, you're looking good there. Why don't you give me another 10 seconds or so and tell me about your radio and what you like best about it so we can get a good recording.
Well, I copied code in the Army for 4 years, about 12 hours a day back in the 60s. So I don't do code anymore. I'm the hat up, so to speak, or hung up my pencil. I just operate sideband with these rigs, and I also run AM with a Johnson G76 trans receiver. The G76 trans receiver. It's not quite a transceiver, although they called it that. So I do AM mostly in the middle of the night when I get around to it. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir, Rob. My local loop is doing great, although I'm getting into a lightning storm here locally, so I had to move up to the Rochester SDR. You're doing about 12 over up in New York, Roger?
Rochester SDR. You're doing about 12 over up in New York, Roger?
Oh, that's good. I normally don't work up that way very well.
Yes, sir. Well, you're doing a fine job today. And what radio was that you're running?
What radio was that you're running?
Yaesu FT991 Alpha.
Roger that. And let's see here. Give me your call one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Give me your call one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Whiskey 4, Victor Foxtrot Whiskey, W4 VFW.
Roger. Well, appreciate you checking in, Rob. Sounds good. The only thing I might comment on, equalization-wise, would be maybe just a couple of more clicks of top-end EQ to help your articulation audio, just a couple of clicks, some more treble boost from where you are, Roger.
A couple of clicks, some more treble boost from where you are, Roger.
Roger, Roger. I'll give that a try. Thank you very much.
Roger, Rob, 73 up that way, sir, or down that way. Get our bearings straight here. You know, I was talking to this guy the other day. He works, he's a cell tower guy, maintenance guy, and he was traveling down in your neck of the woods. He was headed to Bristol, Tennessee to work on some of the cell towers down there. And he would reference where he was going by left or right. You know, and I'm telling him, you know, left or right is only correct when you're headed in the same direction, right? When you're coming the other way, it's not correct.
Direction, right? When you're coming the other way, it's not correct.
That's right. Well, you know, my good all the time, and a lot of amateur work in other places. His name is Ben, and his call sign is WB4SQC. That wasn't who you were referring to, is it?
No. This was, let's see here. Can't recall his call sign right now, but he, like I say, he does work cell towers. He usually does backup after all the big guys work all night getting it working. He comes in and makes it look nice. Roger.
Roger, that's great. It's good to be able to do stuff like that. I'm retired now, and I can't imagine where I found the time when I worked.
Roger. Well, you know, the thing about retiring is that you retire from doing other people's work so you can do your own, Roger.
That's correct. I'm going to let you go. I've got to run over here and do something in the kitchen. But I appreciate the net, and I appreciate you, Jim. Does this net meet every day here on this frequency?
No, sir. We're just Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5. Friday afternoons, 3:30 to 5. We record all the way, and we're recording now. So if you would like to hear your beautiful sounding station, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will, along with today's date, that's important. Do KC9VKV along with today's date, 8/27/21, and that will take you directly to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded to YouTube.
What was the call sign again?
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, KC9VKV.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot, Jim. I'll go there right now and check it out. I appreciate you very much. W4VFW.
Roger, Rob. Now, it will be a couple of days before we can get this particular recording uploaded. We usually get it uploaded like tomorrow morning, but we like to give ourselves a couple of days leeway, so we just say we'll have it up by 48 hours. Roger?
Roger. Okay, I'll look forward to that. Take care. God bless. This is Robin Irwin, Tennessee, W4VFW.
Roger,
Rob. 73, sir. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend. And let's check in now and see if Charlie is back with us. Charlie, K1GCO, do you copy?
Back with us. Charlie, K1GCO, do you copy? Yeah, I copy you fine. I could even hear the station in Tennessee, not too strong, but very Q5 up here in northern New Hampshire. Yeah, I'm sorry about the delay, but I got the information through. I have to be looked at on Monday afternoon at 1:30 p.m., so at least I got that. Okay, if you copy, in fact, are you copying okay, Jim? No, I'll give you a little bit of Captain Mike over Colorado. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Still 15 over on Rochester.
Yes, sir. Still 15 over on Rochester. Okay, and here's Captain Mike. There we go.
Charlie, yeah, we're just coming up over Colorado Springs at the moment at 360. But we got a great copy on you, Charlie. Yeah, I just came on and was trying to find maybe some DX down here into Australia or Japan. Still got some sun up here. We're moving right along here. But yeah, sorry you didn't hear anybody. I did hear you last night. I did call for the other group to see if anybody answered. W73SEP and ZDI, Craig. And I also called out for Bob. But I didn't hear anybody. everybody either last night, so I'm not sure where everybody is. But you're 5-9 plus here. K1G is Alpha, KN4 with your service. Awesome. There, Charlie, we have QSC there, and you dropped down. You were like between an F9 and an F2 there, but came right back up. So, Dave's working on his technicians right now, so
Okay, and I also picked him up on the tarmac when he landed in Sacramento, and that worked out very well. So he was heading west, and tomorrow morning he's heading east. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, again, good recordings there. And I guess you say he's flying freight. Is that a Roger?
I guess you say he's flying freight. Is that a Roger?
Roger. He's flying freight. The lighter the load of freight that he flies higher. And it was a couple about 2 weeks ago. He had a very light load, and he was at 39,000 feet. He was at 36,000, I believe, and the temperature was 40 to 48 below, 48 below zero, as we were talking to him yesterday, and that's equivalent of about 50 degrees below zero Fahrenheit. Boy, that's what a temperature to have. When on the ground, it's in the 90s. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. Well, it's just great. Now, the problem is on 40, he has to run the other sideband, or is that on 20?
He has to run the other sideband, or is that on 20?
No. He's upper sideband on 20 meters, but that's the only thing he can run. It's only upper sideband. So when we work him on 40, we have to use upper sideband because I think it's some kind of a Collins transmitter will only work upper sideband. And so when we go to 40 on a lower sideband deal, it gets a little bit complicated at times. But generally, it's worked out very well, Jim. Look, Jim, I won't hold it any longer. I appreciate your picking me up. If by chance you don't hear me at any time, I'm stuck in one of these deals where I have to little medical attention. It's going to be off and on for a while, but if I'm available, which I'm hoping to be, I'll try to catch you. There goes my voice. I'll try to catch you next Friday. Sorry I had to split this up in the middle because of that phone call I've been waiting all day for, and it happened to hit exactly during our schedule. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, of course, they're monitoring, and they can tell as soon as you get on the air. That's when they're going to call you. 73 up that way. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend, Charlie.
73 up that way. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend, Charlie.
Yeah, the same to you, and I certainly hope you don't get any violent storms or too warm of weather when it's oh boy, humidity. Oh boy, that you wear the air. Oh boy, we had a high of 83. I believe it was yesterday. That was our highest we got out of this warmest period. K1GZL. Pleasure, Jim. Thank you, and hopefully see you next week.
Roger, Charlie, 73, sir. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim, better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we record now live till 5. And then post it up on YouTube. And so if you come by and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 8/27/21, that will take you to this recording. If you just go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're currently running about 1,800 QSO-VLOG recordings. So there you go. You can peruse through those and say, hey, I like his audio, don't like his, I like mine, whatever. It's all a matter of options. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Bigley got a copy on somebody off of Rochester. I'm kind of at a disadvantage today. I've got my internets are not functioning like they should. Let me bring this back up again. Actually, yeah, we'll try that one more time. That is Arlington. Once we get these, they're good for at least 10 minutes. There's always some kind of a rule or regulation about the monitoring these SDRs that wind up we get kicked off and have to come back and log ourselves back in. But there, now we back onto Arlington. And this is KC9VKV. Like I say, we were copying somebody lightly on Rochester, got nothing on our local antenna. We have seem to be in the middle of a lightning storm in this area. So even though we're doing our loops for monitoring, they're still subject to impulse noise from lightning crashes. So whoever's calling, try it again. This is KC9VKV Friday afternoon, QSO-VLOG net listening.
Calling, try it again. This is KC9VKV Friday afternoon, QSO-VLOG net listening. Kilo 4 Radio Delta.
There's a Kilo 4 station out there. Come back slowly with your call sign phonetically, please.
Out there, come back slowly with your call sign phonetically, please. Kilo 4 Sugar Radio Delta, K4SRD.
K4SRD, roger, roger. And what's the name there?
K4SRD, roger, roger. And what's the name there?
The name here is Brent Bravo Romeo Echo November Tango, and we're located in Winchester, Virginia.
Roger, Brent. And what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Brent. And what radio are you running, sir?
Com 7300.
Already on the 7300. All right, if you would, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Okay, sure thing.
Yeah, well, I need a little audio there, sir. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 or 15?
Audio there, sir. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 or 15?
Okay, well, right. 3 foot off the ground.
16-foot ground radius. I like playing around with antennas. There's you in here, and I thought I'd see how it's going and see how the 7300's going.
Well, I finally got my Arlington SDR up sounding good. So, that 7300 is a beautiful radio. Our setup for that, if you might be interested, starts with the compressor engaged at a 3. Turn that compressor on and at a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it does exactly what we need it to do, Roger.
Exactly what we need it to do, Roger.
Okay, I put that at 3 now.
Alrighty, and once we get that compressor engaged at a 3, need to move to our ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust your ALC for mid-scale to 2/3 operation by way of your mic gain control. Roger?
Your mic gain control, Roger.
Let me see what.
I just missed the bottom part of that. Try it again.
Yeah, I'm really new with the radio, and I'm still learning, but listen to this, to be honest with you.
Alrighty. Well, take notes. That would be the thing. Our set of procedure is generic fairly well. It starts with a compressor engaged at a 3, and then you can take notes on that and then crank it in at a later time when you find out where everything is. So it starts with a compressor engaged at a 3, then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, and you do that to get that ALC meter up where you can read it. And as you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however you do it, adjust your mic gain to where your ALC reads mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay. Yeah, I got that written down. We'll see what we can do with it.
Alrighty, and it sounds like you might be just heavy on the bottom end. So I would roll one click bass boost. I would one click off of the bass, -1 on the bass, and +3 on the top, +3 on the treble EQ. So it's -1 on the bass and +3 on the treble from wherever you are EQ-wise. Roger.
Wherever you are EQ-wise. Roger.
And Britt, I think we might have faded out there, sir. Do you still have a copy on me?
Out there, sir. Do you still have a copy on me?
I copied you a little bit on Rochester that time. So if you've got that about the compressor at a 3 and your ALC mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
At a 3 and your ALC mid-scale to 2/3, Roger? Roger.
Alrighty, Brent. Well, let me say 73 to you, sir. I think we've about run out of conditions there. Mother Nature is being stingy again this afternoon, so we'll say 73, sir. And if you get a chance after you crank in all that stuff to join us next Friday, we'd love to hear you. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We're recording now live till 5. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Live till 5. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
WA8 OPR, WA8 OPR.
OPR, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please, sir.
OPR, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please, sir.
Whiskey America 8, Ontario Pacific WA8 OPR, KC9VKV, over.
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, and what's the name there, OPR?
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, and what's the name there, OPR?
Harry, I've talked to you before, and I've forgotten your first name. I should have remembered. Remember Detroit, Farmington, Michigan, 20/9. KC9VKV, over.
Yes, sir. I've got you on my loop. You're about 15 over on my loop. The name was Terry. Is that a Roger?
Yes, that's it. And your name?
Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. And why don't you give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system and let me hear that beautiful audio.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. I'm resurrecting one of my old pieces of equipment. I ran a TS930 Kenwood, ancient stuff, homebrew brick amplifier, about 400 watts to 170 foot, and fed wire up about 50 feet at the high point with counterpoise and a bunch of ground rods, Jim. But superb signal in here. Back to you.
Roger. Now you're using a noise gate?
Noise gate? No, just SM8 mic icon into the TS930, over.
Roger that. Well, it sounded like the audio was cutting off between words. Not a bunch, but I could hear it dying, whereas between words, and I thought you were running a gate.
Oh, it's my little homebrew brick. I turned it down. It was probably, I think it probably went away now, Jim. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Now, that is a Trix switch, voice modulated, activated Trix switch?
Oh, it's an RF sensing switch for the amp. Yeah, I guess you would call it that. Am I still breaking up? Back to you, Jim.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's on the air, not knowing what it was. It sounded like a voice gate, Roger.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, what I want to ask you, seeing how this rig is, let's see, what would that be? E20. 35 years old at least. Just wondering how it sounds over there, Jim. Over.
Yes, sir. It sounds really good. Now, it doesn't have a lot of bottom end, but it does have a high degree of intelligibility, so I would vote for the latter myself, Roger.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, thanks again. And I know you've got multiple arrays and ways of getting to the frequency. I forgot what the rig is, but if you don't want to tell me, that's okay, because I'm sure there's lots of good folks lined up to talk to you. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, so this is a 35-year-old radio. Incidentally, it's a Yaesu FT990, but pretty highly modified coming and going, Roger.
FT990, I got it. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why spend $4, $5, $6, $7, $10,000 for a radio? I guess it's all nowadays in the modern receive capability. Over.
Yes, roger that. Now, like I say, this one is pretty highly modified, down to 100 cycle bandpass on the receive side, which is what we wanted as far as being able to be as transparent as possible in our receive audio because of our recording, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Well, hats off to you, Jim. What a wonderful service you have to everybody, and appreciate the contact, Jim. Just on a quick note, seems to me you're in southern Indiana. I can't quite remember. Over.
Yes, we're just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky, home of fast women and beautiful horses.
Yeah, either order, right? 20 overnight. Perfect copy. Thanks, Jim. Back to you again.
Yes, sir. Good to hear you there, Terry. 73, buddy. Thanks for dropping by, and you have a real good afternoon, a beautiful weekend, Roger.
You bet. 73's Jim, and thanks for the report.
Roger. Now, and I'd had been working on my loop antenna, so a special operational note for today. We'll be working again with our large rotatable 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antenna. So in that regards, if you would like to be of assistance, you could go to QRZ and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Then in the details, note the bearing heading from you to me. And since my loop is bidirectional, I should be able to crank in your bearing heading to me for targeting directions. We shall see. Sounds good in theory anyway. So have your bearing handy, and we'll see if we can do some antenna A/B testing this afternoon. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net. We're recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Charlie Golf. 280 degrees.
Somebody 280 degrees, come back with the call sign first.
K9UIN, near Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, one more time on the call sign.
Kilo 9, da-da-da, da-da.
Doesn't mean a thing to me, sir, if it doesn't have the swing. Give me the phonetics, please.
Uniform, Italy, Mexico.
Roger. Now, what was the heading again?
About 280. About 280. I'm a little bit north of Evansville, Indiana.
All right, so now I should be able to hit that the forward. Well, let me go ahead to 280 degrees. This should be just a moment. I do not have the fastest rotor in the world, so it will take just a little while. In the meantime, why don't you come back and tell me about your antenna system for 10 or 15 seconds, and let me hear you.
Well, this is a delta loop. It's a vertical delta loop, and it is just about broadside to you. It's broadside to just a little bit south of straight east, so it ought to be just about broadside to you.
All right, I'm just going into my dip now. Just went into my 90-degree phase. So come back now and let me hear you.
Okay, how about now? K9, Uniform Italy Mike in Olney, Illinois. Olney.
Roger, sounds better now. I was about 270. Let me come up to about 280 and see what that does. Alrighty, try again there.
Okay, I am a little bit north and west of Evansville, Indiana. So I think Louisville is slightly south of me, just a little bit south of me.
Yeah, roger that. Alright, this should be pretty much on you here. Of course, now I'm only receiving in the loop. I'm only ABing the receive antennas. I'm constantly transmitting on my dipole, roger?
Roger. You're coming in real nice.
Roger that. So let's see here. What's the name there?
Name is Dave. Dog Able Victor Easy, like David and Goliath.
Roger, Dave. And what radio are you running?
Icon 7300.
All right. Why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds on what you like best about your 7300?
Well, everybody gives me good audio reports. I like the scope. I like the fact that it goes on 6 meters. And that's about it. It wasn't terribly expensive.
Roger that. Okay, well, let's review just a moment here as far as our setup procedure for the 7300. It starts with the compressor engaged at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does what we need it to do as far as going for our dynamic range of 3 dB. So if you would be interested in setup procedure, it starts, as I say, with the compressor engaged at a 3. Roger?
Yeah, it's at a 3.
Alrighty, and then as you speak fairly rapidly, go to your ALC with the mic gain in hand, and what you want to do is you speak rapidly so you can actually get that ALC meter up to where you can see what it's doing, and you want to adjust it for mid-scale to 2/3 operation by way of your mic gain control. Roger?
Yeah, well, that's about where it is.
All right, like I said, the sweet spot is actually halfway between the mid-scale and 2/3, but you have to have some wiggle room there, so we just say between mid-scale and 2/3, Roger?
Roger.
All righty, and then move to your equalization. Do you know how to get to your EQ page?
Well, not without looking up the manual, but that's not really why I called you. I called to ask you about a station you talked to just a little bit earlier.
All righty. Well, information's free. I would crank in a couple of clicks more treble EQ for articulation, and go ahead with your question, Roger.
Yeah, that W4VFW, did he say that he used a Gunson G76 on AM?
The VFW station?
Yeah.
And what was the question about him?
Did he say he had a Gunson G76?
No, FT991A.
I thought he said he had a Gunson G76 that he used on AM.
Oh, no, maybe. I just jotted down what he was on at the time, Roger. Maybe he's still in there. W4 VFW. Rob, are you still there? No, he's not, but he may have. I just jotted down the radio he was on at the moment.
Yeah, okay, Roger. Well,
John at the moment.
cell card. I've got a G76 Gunson myself. I have a question about the power supply that I wouldn't mind bouncing. So, anyway.
Roger. Well, maybe you can find him, check him out on QRZ and send him an email, Roger.
Roger.
All right, Dave, let me say 73 to you, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. Roger, Roger.
Roger. Very interesting net. I've written it down Friday afternoons, and we'll see you again.
Yes, sir. And again, this is being recorded, and we'll be posting it up on YouTube within the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, along with today's date, 8/27/21, it will take you directly to this recording. Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
All right, Dave, and you're doing real well for, this, our proximity. We're not, probably far enough apart to actually have this work, but your signal is really, really good for the distance, Roger.
Yeah, I'd have to look on the map to see just how far we are apart, but we're probably airline about 150 miles.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, Louisville. We're just across from Louisville, so that would be, to your location just about right. And that is fairly close for skywave bounce, Roger.
Yeah, are you in Jeffersonville?
No, we're in New Albany, just to the west of Jeffersonville.
Okay, Roger. Well, I love the Kingfish restaurant there at Jeffersonville, right on the riverbank.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
The Kingfish restaurant right on the riverbank at Jeffersonville.
Yes, sir. What about it?
One of my favorite places.
Oh, mine too, sir. Mine too. We have great minds that think alike. 73, Dave. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend.
73. Thanks much.
This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. My name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and this is recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Hello, Jim. This is Kilo Alpha 4, Charlie India Delta, KA4CID in Richmond, Illinois.
The station Kilo Alpha 4, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Roger, thank you.
Kilo November 4, Fox Tango Echo.
India Delta. I say again, Kilo Alpha 4, Charlie India Delta. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm just below Savannah, Georgia, here on the Georgia coast in the little community of Richmond Hill. Over.
Copy that, Mark, in Georgia. So why don't you come back? I'm copying you a little bit now, but let me see if I can get better through an SDR or through my 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. So come back and give me about 10 seconds or so on your antenna system. Roger?
Okay, Jim, and if the copy's bad, we'll pass it. Roger. I do always enjoy watching your YouTube videos. I have a 130-foot wire up in the trees, about 40 feet, and it's probably oriented somewhat north and south, and it is fed all the way back into the shack with window line, and about the last 9 feet are attached to my Palstar AT4K tuner with the coax. And the radio is my favorite radio. I've got a Drake TR4C. A Drake TR4C, and the microphone, of course, is the 104. I've got some other radios. I've got some Yazoo Woods, and I've got symmetric voice processors and all kind of things like that. But a lot of times I just like the simplicity of this old analog Drake TR4C. Jim, over.
Yes, I know what you mean. I have one myself. Long story, but when I was thinking about becoming an amateur radio operator, I was studying for my test on the internet and also looking for a radio, and I ran across this radio that just jumped out at me, and I had never had a radio before, but this radio, I just saw it, and I just knew instantly what every knob did, and it just was a beautiful radio, and I just had to have it. And I tried to get a hold of the guy on the internet, and he never returned my inquiries, so I guess he had already sold it. But anyway, I went on and took my test, and as I was leaving, I just happened to turn at the door and ask the examiners if anybody knew where I might be able to find a Drake TR-4C. And one of the engineers said, "Hey, I've got one. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse. I'll give it to you." And he did. And that radio had been in mothballs for about 10 years. And he brought it over, and over a 3-day period, we brought it up very slowly. We put 75-watt light bulbs in series with the AC, one a day, added in parallel, till eventually we had 3 75-watt lamps in parallel with each other, and next thing we knew, we just took the lights out and went direct, and that radio's been running great ever since. I haven't run it in a little while, but it was doing great the last time, Roger.
Oh, that's a great story, Jim. That's a great story. This one, well, first of all, let me back up. I'm 65 years old. I was about 17, maybe 16. Used to look at the Allied Electronics catalogs and the Lafayette catalogs, but in there were these Drake TR-4s, TR-4C. Well, it didn't have a TR-4C then. But anyway, you know the story. And they just looked like I thought an amateur radio transmitter ought to look. What do we have? Let's see. They got $9. That doesn't do any good. Just real simple, and I just enjoyed it very much. I heard you say you're from New Albany. Back in my late teenage days, I used to be up the road there from you in Scottsburg. On the air at a little small FM radio station, WMPI in Scottsburg. And spent the summer on the air there right after I finished high school. I've never been back to the Louisville area since, but that was just a great part of the country. Got a lot of fond memories there. Jim, over.
Roger. I spent about 10 years at WHAS 840, 50K over in Louisville. So we're brothers of kin in the roost, Roger. Roger.
Oh yeah, I've listened to WHAS a lot then, of course, when I was up there. But I still listen to them down here, AM, when particularly in the early morning hours. I'm driving to work and it's still dark. But I always like to hear them. I think WLKY and WAKY might have been other stations there. Might have remembered a broadcast engineer, Larry Fawbush. He was on one of the UHF stations, I think, there, but also did a little engineering at WMPI. Well, that was my entry into amateur radio. Most of those guys were ham radio operators, and that's where I got my start.
Roger, Mark. Gosh, good to run across you, sir, and I appreciate you dropping by. And on your radio, audio sounds really good. I would, again, my pet peeve is more articulation. I would crank in a little more top end, maybe 2 or 3 clicks additional treble EQ boost from wherever you are. You know, the thing is, it's not just to be able to hear the voice, but to be able to understand what the words are. And when you have a heavy QRM or, you know, competition contesting, it's important that folks not only hear you, but be able to understand you. So the more articulated your audio is, the easier it's going to be for folks to be able to copy the mail. So, and that relates all around treble EQ, Roger?
That's right. Well, you know, the wonderful thing about the good old Drake is you don't have to worry about being able to click in any more trouble. Other than the D104, I think probably is the right microphone. That's what I'm using. The D104 is probably the right microphone for that. I do have a Symmetrics 528E over here that I use on one of my other radios, and what you say is exactly right. Some other people, I appreciate the opportunity to make this recording. I often go back online, or I will go back online and listen to it. But Tim, thank you so much. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And we'll let you move on to the next station in line if you want to. KA4CID, back to you for your final.
Roger, Mark. Well, you be glad that you've got a powered D104. if you were to be using a D104 without an amplifier, you would probably be sounding like sheet tin because of the mismatch of the element, because it's so high impedance versus the lower impedance of modern day HF radios, like about 600 ohms or so, Roger.
HF radios, like about 600 ohms or so, Roger.
Yeah, well, I hear what you're saying. I guess I was thinking this power, this just basic plain Jane D104 into the old Drake TR4C was probably the good match. I think a lot of people use the Shure 444s, 444Ds, that series of microphones, but this is just a plain straight up D104. Heil's conversion kit, which includes his element and a transformer. It's just not possible to get these crystal elements anymore. I've got one D104 where the element has failed. It was causing a lot of ringing, so I just put that on the shelf. But this is just a straight up D104 going into the Drake TR4C, Jim.
Roger. Yeah, you got high impedance going to the TR4C for sure. And you say you do have a transformer, though?
For sure. And you say you do have a transformer, though?
No transformer. I was saying that I was going to buy the Bob Heil conversion, that does come with his HC6, I believe, element, or maybe it's a different one, and the impedance matching transformer. But I haven't done that for my old D104 that has the failed element. This is just into the radio.
Oh, roger that. Well, again, the high impedance of the TR4C makes that a good match, or a better match than, say, a 600 ohm normal current HF radio. And I'm copying the mail on the Arlington, Virginia SDR, which is one of the only SDRs that does have a decent bottom end EQ-wise. A lot of these internet SDRs roll off at about 250 cycles, but the Arlington, Virginia SDR is flat pretty well down to 100 cycles. So I'm listening to you as you truly are there fairly well, and there is a spectrum analyzer on the set, so when you go to check out your audio, beware of the spectrum analyzer up there. It's got 3 white marks on the spectrum analyzer. One furthest to the left is 100 cycles. One furthest to the right is 1 KC, then there's a black space, which is 2 KC, and then there's another white mark, which is 4 KC. So you have there the basic layout of the spectrum analyzer, Roger?
You have there the basic layout of the spectrum analyzer, Roger?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I will connect to that SDR. I'll search for it and find it, and then make some. That'll be nice to be able to see, because that's the one thing I really didn't know about this radio. You know, did I have too much transmitter gain? You know, I look at the ALC meter. It's doing what it should be. I talk up close to the microphone. My lips are just barely touching the grill of the microphone, and that's just the way I've always used this. Always got pretty good reports. I hope I'm not flattering or overdriving or too loud. I don't really know, but you can probably tell by looking at it there. That's really why I called you. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have a bad RF signal here. I know you're really good about things off.
Frequencies in use. Frequencies in use.
Doing anything.
Frequencies in use. Frequencies in use.
Roger, Mark. Well, gosh, what can I say, sir? Sounds good. You look to have about a 2.5 to 3 dB dynamic range, which is exactly where you want to be. A nice fat signal. And tonality-wise, EQ-wise, like I say, you know, obviously my pet peeve is a little more top end, but it sounds really nicely well balanced as it stands. So you have achieved remarkable things with the D104. And like I say, this recording will be available in within 48 hours. Probably we'll upload it tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube and do that, call it a search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, along with today's date, 8/27/21. That will take you to this recording directly. Roger?
That will take you to this recording directly. Roger? Roger. I appreciate it, Jim. Like I said, I've been there, and thank you again. Thank you again for your time today. It's very much appreciated. I'll sign with you now. Hope you have a good afternoon, Jim. KA-46D. Good day.
Roger. Mark 73, sir. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. November 3, Uniform Echo.
There's a November 3 station out there. November 3 station, come back slowly phonetically with a call sign.
November 3 station, come back slowly phonetically with a call sign. November 3, Bravo Uniform Echo.
November 3, Bravo Uniform Echo. Roger. What's the name?
November 3, Bravo Uniform Echo. Roger. What's the name?
Bravo Uniform Echo. What's the name there, please?
Bravo Uniform Echo. What's the name there, please? Yeah, the name's Ron. Romeo Oscar November in the state of New Jersey.
Roger, Ron. I thought that was you. What radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Ron. I thought that was you. What radio are you running today, sir? Yeah, Jim, I'm on a QRP road. X5105, putting out 5 watts.
I was trying to get a little bit better copy on you on my loop antenna. Come back and why don't you tell me about, give me the model number of that radio one more time.
Well, give me the model number of that radio one more time. QSP on the frequency. I don't have a very good copy on you. This is 5 watts on this Chinese QRP rig. So anyway, hopefully we'll get the QSO going here. On this end, we're having thunderstorms, and there's quite a bit of static crashes going on, Jim. Over.
Roger, Ron. I've got this, not the same storm, but I've got another electrical storm down this way. So between the two of them, it's impulse noise. But I was curious about that radio model number again. Try one more time and see if I can pull that out.
Again, try one more time and see if I can pull that out. Okay, Jim. Like I said, it's QRP. It's a X5105. X9, or I don't even know how to pronounce it, okay. It's a solar battery in the rig, and it puts out, like I said, 5 watts. So I think and if we are, I'll play around with it for a little bit. So, like I said, you're coming in strong when the station before, and now it's just about that 7. So, but like I said, a lot of thunderstorms out there right now. So hopefully you copied some of that, Jim. Over.
Yes, sir, I did copy the thunderstorms, and we're just trying to muddle through as best we can. Now, I have pulled my my loop around to 58 degrees, which should be New York, and I haven't been able to copy you on my loop, but and I've been copying you on the Arlington, Virginia STR, but I would like to try to copy you on my loop. So if you could come back for about 10 seconds and give me a little audio and see if I can get you on the loop. Roger?
Give me a little audio and see if I can get you on the loop. Roger? Hello? It's Chinese rig, you know, it's to what it can do. It's not like a IC705 or electric fast type of rig, but it's basically the same type. Internal battery, puts out 5 watts, and inside band, CW. Got a pretty good display on it. Very easy for the eyes to display. And it's got a couple features on it that are okay, and then it's lacking quite a few. Anyhow, like I say, just fool around with it a little bit. So hopefully I gave you a long enough, and you got some type of copy on for that. Over.
Yes, sir. Copying your transmissions on the Arlington, Virginia SDR. Normally, Milford I would be using, and Milford would probably have you at 15 over, but Milford has been down the last couple of days. I don't know why it is, but the Milford PA SDR has not been operable for the last 2 days, and I miss it sorely because that is a go-to SDR for me. About 75% or at least 65% of the time, I've got a really good copy on Milford. Well, Ron, let me say 73 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And again, this recording should be available in the next 48 hours on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, do the call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, along with today's date, 8/27/21, and it should be there, and that will take you directly to this recording. Roger?
Should be there, and that will take you directly to this recording, Roger.
Yeah, okay, Jim, very good. Well, I'm really surprised I got to make a contact with you. Still 5 watts with a Chinese little radio. It's just amazing sometimes what you can do. I really appreciate you coming back to me and putting up with what, 5 watts? And you take care, 73. Nice talking to you again, Jim. And we'll definitely give you a call another time. So you have a good day. KC9VKV. NCBUE. Good evening, sir. Keep up the good work.
Roger, Ron, 73, sir. And let me just say that that 5 watts is sounding as bodacious as a lot of the 100-watt stations that are running, lesser efficient antennas. I guess that would be what it would be, because, you know, they're hitting the antenna with, quote, 100 watts, but the antenna just isn't as efficient. You did a great job there. So 73. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim, and we are recording now live 205. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
205. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
And I've gone through my SDRs, and nothing to copy there. If you have a radio you want to check out, try again.
Kilo, Mike 4, Papa, Foxtrot.
Kilo, Mike 4 station. Come back slowly, phonetically with the call sign.
Kilowatt, Mike 4, Papa, Foxtrot.
Papa, Foxtrot. Roger. What's the name there? Copy you in North Carolina, and it's Ken. Is that a Roger? Yeah, getting hit by lightning hits. Try one more time, slowly, phonetically. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't you give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger?
Roger.
A better path for us, Roger.
Gosh, not getting a better copy there. I was doing a little bit on Arlington, but I don't think we're going to make it. But try one more time, and let me see if I can hear you. Going to make it, but try one more time, and let me see if I can hear you. All right, I'm going to pull my loop around and see if I can get any better copy there. You're in North Carolina, so that should be 110 degrees or so. Let me pull around that way and see what I got. Try it now. Yeah, I'll tell you, between my lightning storm and yours, I don't think I'm going to be able to copy you. About the time my receiver regains from the last impulse, it gets hit again, so it's just constantly sucking the signal down, Roger. It gets hit again, so it's just constantly sucking the signal down, Roger. So KM4 PPF, sorry for not being able to make contact today. Maybe next Friday, if conditions are better, give me a shout, and I'll be looking for you. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. My name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and if you have a radio you want to check out, hopefully we'll be able to make it between these two lightning storms. And not copying anyone at the moment, so I'm pulling my loop back to 00 degrees. And again, if anyone out there has a radio they want to check out, give me a shout. Again, if anyone out there has a radio they want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, K4SRD, back to you.
K4... give me the call sign again slowly phonetically, sir. Give me the call sign again slowly phonetically, sir.
Sugar Radio Delta. Yeah, I talked to you a little while ago. I switched antennas on a dipole at about 35 feet now. Maybe you can hear me a little better.
Yes, sir. You're 7 over on the Arlington, Virginia SDR, sir. Roger, Roger. 7 over on the Arlington, Virginia SDR, sir. Roger, Roger.
Okay, well, we're just sounding.
Oh, gosh, and I just went to my local antenna and you killed me. Come back, give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system there and let me hear you.
Okay, we're running right now I'm on a folded dipole, or a fan dipole, I'm sorry, up about 35 feet as an inverted V. Just with the ICOM 7300 and the ICM mic.
Roger Brent, I got a real good copy on you, sir. And how long have you had that 7300?
Well, I've had it a couple months, but I'm still learning. I did get the ALC set like you had suggested and a couple of the other things. Hopefully it's working a little better.
Yeah, so you're running about mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC by a mic gain control?
Roger, Roger.
All right, why don't you give me, again, something that you like best about your radio, and let me see if we can get a good recording here, Roger.
Well, gosh, it's a great radio. I pretty much like everything about it. Of course, just the stethoscopes and what have you, it really makes it nice. And it's, other than the learning curve, it's fairly easy. It's just taking me a bit getting used to, because my radios were a Kenwood TS430 sugar and a 140 sugar, so that was my equipment. Still did.
Roger that. Now, do you know how to get to your equalization page?
I think so.
I'll tell you what, why don't you take notes and maybe crank in just a little more top end, about 3 clicks additional treble boost from wherever you are when you figure out how to get there, Roger?
Okay.
Because that top end really helps from the articulation standpoint. It helps to define the words. If you don't have a very bright top end, then it's in adverse conditions, which is 90% of life on the radio. It's difficult to copy what you're saying. So the more articulated your audio, the easier it is to understand the words that you're speaking.
Okay, that's 3 clicks there. Is that any better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a whole lot better. And like I say, we are recording now, so I would appreciate it. Maybe you give me about 15 seconds or something I don't know to get additional recording with a new EQ, Roger.
Okay. Well, usually when I'm on 75 meters, I'm running an amplifier. Like I say, right now I'm just running bare radio. I get on the 430 sugar usually when I'm on the 75 meters, but I do use the 7300 every now and then.
Roger. So, and you don't run an amp on 40 for why?
Well, no reason. I just haven't done it lately. I haven't got things set up quite yet. I didn't run an amp for a long time, then I finally picked one up, and I just haven't. I've been kind of working back temporary with for my old boss doing some odds and ends things, and just haven't had time right now to set up.
Roger. Well, 40 meters can be as cantankerous as any other band, more so than maybe one of the lower bands. And so I would suggest, if you have it within your means, to run an amp on 40. Particularly, Mother Nature has not been generous of late on 40, Roger.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's been kind of crazy. Even 75 meters is kind of rough at night at times here lately.
Yeah, Roger. I used to run late at night on on the lower bands, and it was always pretty well predictable. You had good coverage almost every night with very little fading. But 40, boy, it can be treacherous from time to time.
Yeah, it's a little different. I had been on the radio for about 10 years until I retired, and I kind of dusted everything off and got the antennas working again, and picked up this new radio. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but I really like the 7300.
Roger. Well, you've got the right radio. 7300 is just a beautiful radio. It's not, as far as expense, it's not terribly expensive. It's pretty expensive. It's more expensive than what I can afford. My owner did let me give me a 7300 for about 3 months to check it out, and that was a beautiful time. Mainly we used it in the receive mode capabilities, because it is such a beautiful receiver. If you run it in the filter 1 position, which is actually no filtering at all, filter 1, and it's just frequency response, and then also you want to run it in 100 to 2900 bandpass. You want to always run that radio in the 100 to 2900 bandpass, Roger?
Roger, I got you. Yeah, my first radio was actually a Lenco DX70CH, and I found the receipt. I bought it in the early 90s when I first got my general ticket, and I paid about $1,000 for that. So really what I got was this for what I paid for it. So it's an amazing little radio. It really is.
Yes, I found like I say, the receiver. I mainly ran it in the receive mode against I've got an older Yaesu FT990 but the 990 has been pretty heavily modified, receive and transmit, so it's fairly well down to 100 cycles in the receive mode, and I was checking it out against the 7300 in the receive mode, and they were very, very similar as far as the control, as far as the audio curve that they would receive. Of course, the 7300 did have a certain more transparent aspects to it than the 990, but I did enjoy running both of them, and AV. Listening to them back and forth was real interesting. Like I say, you have to run that receiver in the filter 1 mode, no noise flank, and no noise reduction. Those two items, noise blank and noise reduction, just add distortion to the incoming signal. So I didn't run any of those. Roger.
Okay. Breath on here for ID. I won't hold it. I appreciate you coming back to me, and I appreciate and thank you for what you do. Back to me, and I appreciate and thank you for what you do. It's a big help to everyone, that's for sure.
Roger. And I just went from my local antenna down to the Arlington, Virginia SDR, and like I say, the Arlington SDR is the only one that I found that it's flat down to 100 cycles. So I got just the last few seconds of your transmission on that one. So let me say 73, sir. I appreciate you dropping by. And again, if you get a chance and want to, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, KC9VKV, along with today's date, 8/27/21, we'll take you to this recording. 73, and you have a great day, Roger.
Take you to this recording. 73, and you have a great day, Roger.
Okay, Jim. 73s, have a great day. KC9VKV, K4SRD.
This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. Got about 8 minutes to go here. We turn into a pumpkin. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
To a pumpkin. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
This is KC9VKV. It's still trying to bring up Milford PA SDR, but it does not want to come up. So for whatever reason, I guess it's down for the count, maybe permanently. That would be terrible. That would be a catastrophe if the Milford PA SDR went bye-bye. Boy, I would miss that for sure. So anyway, this is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I'm hearing somebody back in there on the Rochester SDR. Pretty far back, but station calling, try it again, please.
Pretty far back, but station calling, try it again, please.
I think the call ended in India. If I'm right, try it again slowly, phonetically, please. Come up on that mic and let me hear you.
Try it again slowly, phonetically, please. Come up on that mic and let me hear you.
Not copying anyone. Did not copy anyone that time around. Went through all the SDRs and through my local antenna. So you might consider, if you're out there trying, that I'm not copying you on Arlington, Milford, Rochester, or Atlanta SDRs, nor on my local antenna. If you're doing 100 watts and you're somewhere in the eastern part of the United States transmitting with 100 watts, I'm not copying. You are S1. Everywhere that not even S1, you're S0. for all of the internet SDRs that I'm running, plus my local loop, plus my dipole antenna. But maybe conditions are just that way. Try again.
Kilo Echo Zero. Echo Kilo Delta.
Was there a Kilo Echo Zulu?
This is Kilo Echo Zero. Echo Kilo Delta.
Stand by, sir. Kilo Echo Zero station. One more time on the call sign, please.
This is Kilo Echo Zero. Echo Kilo Delta in Minnesota, 9th November. Over.
Okay, I've got the call sign now. What is the name?
The name is Francis. Oscar Romeo Alpha, November, Charlie India Sierra. QSO?
One more time phonetically on the name. All right, and what's your location, sir?
I'm on a bearing to you of 140. Your bearing to me should be approximately 320.
Well, I'll go ahead. I'll go around my SDRs first. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds of telling me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us.
South, and then southeast Minnesota, southeast Minnesota, 9th November, and I'm broadcasting with 100 watts your frequency. Over.
EKD, I believe the call sign is. This is KC9VKV. Well, I did go around. I got nothing on my SDRs. I am copying just a little bit on my loop at 000 degrees. And I think that you said you were in Minnesota. Is that a Roger?
Roger. Your bearing to me should be a
Roger, Roger. Well, we got somebody that has decided to go 1 KC off, and well, you know, one gets as good as they get. I guess I don't understand why somebody would be just 1 KC off and start transmitting when we have been operating on this frequency for an hour and a half. Doesn't make much sense. But anyway, a station, gosh, you know, I can hear you in there from time to time, but I don't think it's going to be enough to copy the mail. Although, you know, why don't you try one more time and we'll see where it goes.
Roger, Jim. Your bearing should be approximately 300. QSO?
What was the heading?
320 degrees. 320. Repeat. 320 degrees. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, I'm at 00 degrees, so that's pretty close. But just out of curiosity, I will come around. This may take my lifetime and yours to for this rotor to get around, but I will come around to 310 degrees and see if there's a difference between 000 degrees and 310 degrees. I would think with a loop that there probably wouldn't be enough difference to write home about, but I'm going to try. And along the way, I'll stop and come back station again and let me hear you just for a moment or so. Okay, I'm at 310 degrees, and I do have a little bit of a copy on you, Roger. Unfortunately, though, I'm getting a sideband chatter. I'm getting sideband chatter that's about 10 dB hotter than your signal, so it's really tearing me up, Roger.
Well, we tried.
That's right. That's right. We gave it the best try we could, but unfortunately, Mother Nature had other plans. So maybe try next Friday. We do this every Friday afternoon between 3:30 and 5. Record live till, from 3:30 till 5, and then post it up on YouTube. So we'll say 73 for now, and maybe try it next Friday. And with that, we will be concluding today's broadcast. And again, if you participated and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV along with today's date, 8/27/21, that will take you directly to this recording. Now, if you go to YouTube and just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're right now featuring about 1,800 recorded QSO-VLOGs. And so you can peruse through those and say, hey, I like that guy's audio, I don't like mine, or I like that guy's audio, options. That's the whole name of the game. So with that, we'll be wrapping up today and returning this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, clear.